I never planned to teach. My mom's a teacher. And so I was like, why would I do that? She works really, really hard and doesn't get paid very well. So I never really planned to do it.
By serving students that need more individualized instruction so that they can be productive members of society. And part of my goal is to try to reinforce to students that being a decent person, being a person of integrity, is more important than grades or a lot of the data that we collect on students. I try to balance this message about just being an achiever with just being a good, decent person.
Do you feel that your job gives back to the community?
Oh man. Okay, so I really think that education is important, and the more that we can do to educate our youth about the things that are happening in the world around us, I think we'll make more informed decisions as they get older, as we get into voting age. And so I don't think that, yeah, it's definitely an immediate impact on the community, but I think like down the road, that's where the job makes the most impact, is when we see our young people growing up, practicing their creativity, practicing how to use their voice in things like voting. That's where I feel like it gives back the most.
All right, so to what extent do you feel that your job gives back to the community?
I think that being a teacher of any subject is the thing that gives the most back to the community of really any job, because you're helping children grow into adults, and the adults are going to be the ones in charge. And I think especially being a special ed teacher, I'm helping kids who have struggles beyond the regular kids, and they need extra help. And I feel my job gives back a lot to the community, and I'm very proud to do it.
So what do you find most rewarding about your job?
For sure, working with young people and having time to kind of think creatively about teaching. So that's like really interesting to me, to think like, I want them to learn this. How can I be really creative about how I get them there? So, rather than like do a lecture, like what small group questions can I ask for them to arrive at some conclusion that I'm interested in them coming to.
Free time is a funny concept as a teacher. You don't have too much of it, although this year I'm trying this new thing called work-life balance, so I have a lot more free time because I'm not working as much. So in my free time, I really like to get out and like move my body, like through exercise, hiking, etc. I think like that's one of the biggest ways in which I can calm down and just relax and appreciate the outside world, because when you're stuck in a classroom, same four walls, 5 days a week, that can become pretty overwhelming. So I get outside.
Thing to do in your free time?
I really like to do crafts of all different kinds, and I also like to cook. Eli just wants to hear what I'm saying. He had no reason to come out here. I like to cook, I like to knit, I like to sew, I like to do crafts. I just like to do crafts.
When you're away from your job?
My favorite thing to do in my free time is usually to go hiking or bicycling. In the summertime, I enjoy backpacking, going to the mountains, spending time with my own children and my family, my parents, and
So free time is a relative word because I have 4 children and a husband and a house. So I don't really have a lot of free time.
How often do you think about your paycheck when teaching?
Well, when I'm in the classroom with the students, I'm not thinking about my paycheck, but I do have another job because I'm not able to make it financially on my teacher's salary. So that's really a bummer. But I wouldn't say I sit in the classroom while I'm teaching or while I'm at work, bitterly thinking about my paycheck.
Never when I'm here. I think about it at the end of the month when I have, when I basically have very little money left and I have to start paying my bills. So, but I don't ever think of it like, oh, I'm doing this for a paycheck.
I think I have a lot of things that bring me happiness. Most importantly though is like the relationships that you build with students. I think it's really nice to see a student, especially as just a 9th grade teacher now, is to take them in September of their 9th grade year and just really watch them grow through the end of the year.
So, what brings you the most happiness about your job?
I think my connection with the other students, just relationships with students and seeing them.
With the students that I work with and appreciating these students for who they are.
Students, I mean, I really like learning about their lives and their interests and their passions. I think some people say, oh, you teach high school, ooh, you know. But I think in a way, that's the most enjoyable.
Connecting with students and feeling like I have a classroom. Thank you. I have a classroom that people feel like recognized, and they feel like we're doing something interesting.